Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Don't you just love that music? Oh my goodness. It's the way it's got that big crescendo. I mean, I'm just like, I never get tired of it. Cha cha cha. Don't you like the way it's got that little cha 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 at the end? Yeah, it got that little cha cha cha. Well, happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. Yes. And yes, there is a secret weapon. There's always a secret weapon. So move over, Harry and Meghan, because it's happy Monday and there is definitely yet another secret weapon. It's so secret it feels like you've seen it before. Hey, fancy, fancy. Let me see who was here first. Compton Caligal was here first. Thank you so much for being here. Shelly L. Beverly McCaskill, Emma D, and a bunch of other peoples. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world with secret weapons. Yes, another secret weapon. A secret deep in the soul says that it's blonde and it's old. uh anyway, let's see. Jude. Hi Jude. Thank you so much for being here. Gwendolyn Daniels. Mary H. Happy Monday. So yeah, it's hard to believe that Harry and Meghan has suddenly become obsolete. You can't tell by the way they keep throwing their name in every article and every book and every publication and every royal review show. They're so obsolete, they won't stop talking about them. But before we get to that, I just saw this before I logged on, so let's talk about it, shall we? Patrick J. Adams. You may remember him from the 7 years that he and Meghan worked together on Suits, right? And let's see, Suits had 1 or 2 additional seasons after Meghan left, right? Was it like 8 years or 9 years? Anyway, Patrick J. Adams says, what Suits co-star Meghan, our Duchess of Sussex, has gone through is insane. The actor appeared on the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast with host Amanda Hirsch. Not skinny but not fat. What in the world? Never heard of it. Not skinny but not fat. Anyway, a lot has changed for Meghan since starring in Suits on her, and her co-star Patrick J. Adams has taken notice. The Madison actor sat down with Amanda Hirsch on a new episode of the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast, where the conversation turned to their mutual acquaintance with the Duchess of Sussex. As seen in an exclusive clip shared with People magazine, Hirsch told Adam about how she got a handwritten note from Meghan after posting. Oh, I remember this girl with the handwritten note. Yes, I remember her. She received a handwritten note from Meghan after posting about the Duchess of Sussex on social media before With Love Meghan aired. I haven't met her, Hirsch told her guests. The way that happened was that her show was coming out. I had said on my Instagram, where I say stupid crap, um, what I am worried for Meghan, because you've been protective over her in the past. And Adams then replied, what she's gone through is insane, to which Hirsch agreed. Meghan and Adams' Suits character, Rachel Zane and Mike Ross, were love interests and ended up getting married on screen, starring on the USA Network series from its start in 2011 until season 7. Let's see. Meghan was still acting in Suits when the relationship with Prince Harry began. Okay, yeah, we remember all of that. And of course, Patrick J. Adams did go to the wedding. So Hirsch complimented Adams' Instagram bio, which has a reference to Meghan. The other guy from that show that you're watching on that app, because that girl married that prince. Do you guys remember that? Let me do that again. It's kind of cute and weird, but here goes. That other guy from that show that you've watched, I'm sorry, that other guy from that show that you're watching on that app, because that girl married that prince. So what he's saying is that I'm the co-star from Suits that you're watching right now on, I guess it was Netflix at the time, because Meghan married Harry. Yeah, that's what he's saying. I've got to change that, Adam said, to which Hirsch objected. So, yeah, it does sound funny the way it reads, but yeah, I think that Patrick J. Adams wants to change it. It's cute. I would say just leave it. Let me see. He says it's the sort of thing that whenever Meghan is, if she ever read that, she's going, Patrick, give me a break, he said, mockingly rolling his eyes. I got a lot of eye rolls. That was a constant with Meghan. When asked if the Duchess of Sussex had ever said anything to Adams about her social media bio, he said, no, never, but I'm sure I got an eye roll. Elsewhere during the interview, Adams revealed that unlike Hirsch, he has not received any jam from Meghan's As Ever brand. What? Patrick J. Adams hasn't received any jam. And let's see, I don't have enough followers, I don't think, he quipped. No, first of all, you need to get on the list. Hello, everybody. Hirsch said in response, before revealing that she hasn't tasted it because she doesn't want to open the jar. Oh, you know what? She probably has the American Riviera Orchard, right? I think that was before they went on sale. So she's probably got the American Riviera Orchard. I wouldn't want to open that one either. Anyway, Adams suggested she should have tried it together. I'm sorry, suggested that they should have tried it together, noting it's going to go bad. Doesn't it? It's preserves, right? I'm preserving them, Hirsch said with a laugh. So she doesn't want to open her jar. Oh, so right here it says Adams revealed on Reddit thread in October 2024 that he and the Duchess of Sussex are not really in touch, adding that she leads a very different life now for obvious and important reasons. However, after hearing the news that Adams and Sarah Rafferty were launching a rewatch podcast for Suits, the actor said Meghan reached out. Upon hearing about the podcast, I got a lovely text saying how excited she was for us and asking how she could help in any way. Adams wrote, adding that it was so lovely to still have that kind of support and friendship after so many years apart. Patrick A. Adams' episode of Not Skinny But Not Fat, it drops at 3 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, March the 31st. So that means tonight, for you guys on the East Coast, you'll get a chance to catch that at 3 a.m. And for me, I guess that's 2 a.m., right? No. 4 a.m. 4 a.m. for me, 3 for them. No, why am I getting confused? So their 3 o'clock is my 2 o'clock? Yeah, I think so. My 2 a.m. Anyway, there you go. Patrick J. Adams was on that podcast. Hey, Joan Garcia, Cookies and Cream. Lorna Murray, welcome, welcome. Okay. So, let me go here. What a good looking couple, right? I think so. All right. Well, next. So, Victoria Ward, Buckingham Palace is concerned that the BBC's decision to cut its event planning team could affect the way deaths in the royal family are covered. The Telegraph understands, blah, 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 blah. If you were here yesterday, or maybe you read it someplace else, the BBC to dismantle crown jewel of live British broadcasting. The team at BBC Studios Events, which covers royal and state broadcasts, that is, will be cut to one person, leaving the corporation reliant on freelancers. You know how they did not air the Commonwealth Day? Well, if they were to air the Commonwealth Day in the future, they will have one correspondent, just one. Now, if they need more help, they will use freelancers, but they're not going to keep people on staff day after day for whatever royal event comes up. There will be one designated person. Anyway, that's the way I understand it, is that there will be one journalist that is dedicated to covering whatever the royals are doing. And if they need more people, then they will depend upon freelancers, which is interesting because it's the British Broadcast Company, right? And that is like the standard bearer, the national television station for the United Kingdom, for Britain. And the idea that they're not going to cover the royals in the same way, that they will just have one dedicated reporter, not a pool of people anymore, just one. So the writing was probably on the wall because if you all recall that they did not want to cover the um, Commonwealth Day. And I'm just like, okay, well, maybe they're going to show it in its entirety later on. No, they just did not cover it. After 37 years, no Commonwealth Day. How is that possible? That is the royal family. That is a day when the family of nations within the Commonwealth, they all come together to celebrate the unity. And no Commonwealth Day coverage. Just images of them walking into Westminster Abbey. There were some still photos of them within the Abbey, and that was it. I'm still reeling about that. I think it's good for them because basically I think that the Left Behind Royals are pretty crappy people, but still, what is happening that they didn't want to cover it? Nobody cares about Dumb and Dumber. Oh, not Sawboss TV. Now that's a name I haven't heard in oh no, not Straw Boss. I'm thinking Straw Boss, not Sawboss. Um let's see. Australia dumped the Commonwealth Games. Too pensive and not much interest. Oh, that's right. I forgot all about the Commonwealth Games. Does anybody want the Commonwealth Games any longer or no? Oh, also, while I'm thinking about it, you guys, um, I don't know if you were planning to travel anytime soon, but listen, there has been some shortages of fuel in various countries. I'm not here to alarm anyone, but do consider your travels just to make sure you don't get stuck someplace. Because if things continue with the fuel prices, airlines are going to have to decide what flights do we want to continue and what flights perhaps we may want to cut. So, I'm just saying, just so you don't get stuck someplace, because things are going to get very interesting very fast, I believe. And it's kind of hard to tell, which way things are going to go and how long it's going to be the way it is or the way it's likely to be. So that's the only public service message I have for that. Is I was listening to someone talking about that and it just made a lot of sense. So do consider your travel coming up just to make sure you're not stuck somewhere, because there are some places where they're having trouble getting fuel. Let's see, the BBC is short on funds since the N word problem they didn't remove. Yes, at the BAFTA Awards, right? Let's see. My husband is visiting daughter in the outback. We are concerned, but just told husband to he has to stay long. Yeah, he will have to stay longer. Well, I hope and pray that nobody has any like long fuel shortages, but I did hear, I think perhaps it was someone from the UK. She went to go and get some petrol, and there was nothing available at the first place she went. And so then she got kind of alarmed and really thought, no, I'm just going to keep looking till I find something. And she did. So, um, which is another thing, I guess. If you need to get some petrol for your car, go ahead and do it sooner rather than later, because you don't want to get stuck in the line somewhere, and just fill it up just to say you did. just in case, anything is offline for even a day. Okay. All right. Let me see. What do we have next coming up here? Oh, you know what, you guys, let me go. I just made some coffee and I want it so bad. So give me just a minute to grab my coffee. I can smell it. And in the meantime, let me see. I will share a video with you while I grab my cup of joe. Let me see. I don't know which one I want to share. This one maybe? No, not that one. Well, I'm not going to go that long. I just need to pour a cup of coffee. But let me see. I want to do something. Oh, Doria.
It's good without you.
It's really good without. Because once you get to the bottom, it tastes all the banana. Is that a look of joy? I was like, and?
I'm muted.
Dun, dun, dun. My mom has nothing
I'll
to
tell you
say.
when I'm done.
Okay, cup of joe. So, the royal family have a new star. Harry and Meghan have finally been chopped. It says they have been chopped. Harry and Meghan have never admitted any blame for Megxit. Oh, I hate that word. Or their repeated. Can I say that word? Yeah. Okay. Well, what it says there against the royal family. So let's just move on from them, please. Let's just move on from them. Whatever are they talking about? So apparently, someone has gotten their knickers in a twist over the Sussexes, and they feel it's time for the United Kingdom to move on. For the people of Great Britain and all the realms and commonwealths, it's time to move on. No more Harry and Meghan. That's about the size of it. So I'm pretty sure the feeling is mutual. But here's the thing. If you don't have them to complain about, what would you do all day? What would they do with themselves? You see there? And then the article, they found this photo of Harry and Meghan. Now, of course, to the untrained eye, you would think, oh, Harry is just so unhappy that he married one of the most beautiful, one of the most incredible, smart, resourceful, kind, thoughtful women in the world. Of course, he's sad. And Meghan likewise thinking, I thought he was going to be king. You mean to tell me he's not going to be king? Right? So they look kind of sad. Truth is, this was a trip to Jordan, and the topic was, of course, the humanitarian crisis that persists in the region. And of course, um, whenever the topic is about children that are suffering, both Harry and Meghan find it very difficult, but they are there to support. They're there to help whenever they can. And also, they are more than willing to put in time and also donate money. So, yes, they look sad. Of course they do. And Harry, we know how Harry is about, kids when they're hurt or sick or injured. It's hard for him to hide his feelings. He just, he wears it all over his face. And who wouldn't? So here's the thing. Instead, King Charles and Prince William have found far more reliable royals who can play bigger roles for the firm going forward and who would never stab them in the back, the article said. Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie, who married into the royal family when she wed Prince Edward back in 1999, has been a prominent working royal for years. But while she has always worked quietly and with grace, while she has always worked quietly and with grace for the monarchy, insiders claim she has excelled since the Sussexes fled the UK, such as stepping in for King Charles on occasion during his cancer treatment. Royal fans dubbed her. You cannot make this up, could you? Royal fans have dubbed her Super Sophie. Yes, the royal fans have dubbed her Super Sophie. With all of her superpowers. Let's see. H Knight, 47 months membership. Thank you so much for that. Oh. Let me see. No one cares about boring Ford Fiesta. I know, but yet they keep telling us how important she is to the future of the monarchy. I don't see it either, but that's what they say. So it must be true. Others hail her as the royal family's secret weapon. And of course, if you're going to be Super Sophie, you better have a secret weapon because there's no obvious things of merit. Anyway, Super Sophie, who is the Duchess of Edinburgh, conducted a 10-day diplomatic overseas visit at the behest of the UK government in South and Central America. Now it's been suggested her royal role will get bigger and bigger when Prince William becomes king. I can see that happening. And that's only because William and Kate are not interested in working. So anyway, the secret weapon for the royal family is Super Sophie. So Sophie, aka Ford Fiesta, she is actually going to pick up wherever Harry and Meghan left off. So be prepared because we're going to see a lot of blue jumpsuits. Just so you know, Sophie is almost like an action figure. You know what I'm saying? She's almost like an action figure. She's somewhat of a superhero. As a matter of fact, they call her Super Sophie. And I don't know about you guys, but I think since she has this new role in the family, and because she's, the royal family's secret weapon, I think maybe they should call in a glam squad. What do you think? A glam squad? Let's see. I can see them having to appoint her husband as regent to George. Ah, okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, um, yeah, I think Super Sophie needs a glam squad. Definitely, it requires an intervention because if you're going to be Super Sophie, you're going to have to try to look just a little bit more attractive. Hey, Governor? Now, one of her superpowers is whenever she needs the attention of a man, whether it's William the Terrible or Mike Fatendo or even her husband, Rambolina, one of the powers that she has as, a superhero is that she is able to throw herself down to the gravel and grovel for attention, especially if it's in front of King Charles III. So that is she is willing to do anything for the future of the United Kingdom. Another one of her powers is looking sad and mad all at the same time. Nobody can turn down the corners of their mouth like Super Sophie. Anyway, that's one of her many hidden talents. Another one is yelling at the help. If you're going to be a member of the royal family, it is essential that you know how to berate the help. You know how to wag your finger in the face of a royal protection officer whilst carrying out official royal duty. And if the paparazzi can catch you doing that, so much the better. And so I think she's got that covered. Also, because you know what? I better not. I'm just not going to do it. But the only thing that Sophie, the only deficit she has is that she don't know how to keep her car, you know, on the street. On occasion, she is known to have her royal protection officers or the Met Police, the escort, they seem to have problems going through intersections. So we're working on that. That's not her fault. That has nothing to do with her abilities as the heroine in this story. So I'm not going to take anything away from her. You know what? I better move on. I better move on before I get in trouble. Also, the clothing allowance. If indeed Sophie is going to inspire, and that also means young people, if Sophie is going to inspire people, if Sophie wants to live up to her promise as a superhero, it is necessary that she has a better clothing allowance. So she needs a stylist. She needs a glam squad and she needs a stylist because that's very important if she is going to take the place of the Sussexes, right? So I don't know how they're going to leverage something from this unfortunately built, you know, duchess, but I mean, she doesn't have a bad shape. It's just that sometimes when she turns sideways, and I noticed that when she's wearing her jumpsuits, right? When she turns sideways, she kind of reminds me of Skipper from Gilligan's Island. Yeah, she kind of puts me in mind of Skipper from Gilligan's Island with that kind of, you know. So just a little punch, nothing to worry about. But yeah, but if she's going to live up to the promise of Super Sophie, she's going to have to fix that. So yeah, that means that that hideous dress is going to have to go back to from whence it came. Yes, she has to. That dress must be burned. They need to burn that dress. Something tells me it's indestructible, but they can try to burn it or a landfill. That dress belongs in a landfill somewhere. It looks toxic, but maybe it's not. And what else? Oh, and I'm looking forward to the day when we don't have to see her trying to wear leather pants or wear that weird leather dress thing that she's wearing, or she's not wearing a hat that looked like somebody picked up after their dog. You know what I mean? I still believe that that hat was a gift from Queen Elizabeth, that the Queen sent one of the footmen to walk the corgis and she instructed him to bring back one of the bags. And so, having done so, it didn't take long. It did not take long before you saw that hat sitting right there on top of the Duchess of Edinburgh. Well, at the time, it was the Sophie Wessex. It didn't take long before we saw that hat sitting right there, proudly displayed as a fancier on top of her head. Let's see. Shelly L says she's built like a WWE wrestler. Well, thank you so much for that. And it's a good thing too, because sometimes during high winds, that squat little stout posture of hers helps to keep her feet firmly planted on the terrain, right? And that's essential because when you are Super Sophie, you never know when you may have to rescue someone from some evildoer, and we wouldn't want her getting pushed to the ground or anything. So that rather squat, stout stance that she has gives her a better center of gravity. So, yeah, there's a reason why she's built like that. So, thank you so much for the super chat. And then also, in order to be an inspiration, we're going to have to work on her self esteem because if it wasn't for the cameras, maybe we would not have noticed that she walks with her head down because, well, for the rest of her life, it seems like she's going to be walking behind um, Catherine, because Catherine outranks her as the Princess of Wales. So that means that she's going to have to, kind of show deference to her, which is why on the left you can see her walking with her head down, humiliated that somebody who's got a baby brain is actually outranking her. And then if you look at the middle picture, isn't that something? You can see Sophie glancing at Catherine. You see Kate in the mirror back there. You can see that she's actually looking at Kate. I'm pretty sure she would be so embarrassed if she knew that that photo was out there where you could see that she was looking so sad because Kate is always going to outrank her. And of course, when Kate becomes queen, it's going to be necessary for her to curtsy to Kate. Oh, wow. What a disaster for her. And, well, anyway, her sadness and despair is all over her smug little face. And I say it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. And then, of course, there's the envy that she has. Now, yes, um, Super Sophie has a somewhat barrel shape, which is good for monsoons because it helps to maintain her center of gravity. But she lacks the grace and elegance of the Duchess of Sussex. As you can see there, Meghan has that very elegant, aristocratic, royal, erudite manner about herself. And then there's Sophie, who just, I don't know, enters a room like a trucker, like she just got through driving a lorry across Europe. That's 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 Super Sophie. Anyway, the other thing is that time that we caught her and Kate glancing at the crown jewels. And of course, both of them were thinking the same thing. One down, one to go. One down and one to go. Or in Sophie's case, one down, two to go. If she's lucky. And this is another one of those times where the camera doesn't lie. Now, Sophie, one of her big superpowers is that she knows how to maintain that big shit eating grin. Because she's Super Sophie. But when she has those unguarded moments, then you find out what she really thinks of Kate Middleton. Look at there, giving her the side eye. See there? It's like, wench. Oh, Kate, you're so comical. You're so comical. Wench. Anyway, that is her ability to have two faces instead of one. Yes, that is one of Super Sophie's. That is one of her powers that she has, is that she's a two-face. You see? There's one face, there's the other. A two-face. You think she's your best friend, and then she's giving you the side eye. Now, why don't we do a little glance at the past where she's concerned? As you can see, this is not the first time she has been declared a secret weapon. You see there? Look all the way down at the bottom. Sophie tells of mission to help in rare interview. Royal secret weapon. I'll take it as a compliment. Well, it's such a secret. It looks like Kate's image is the more prominent image on the front page. as she celebrates yet another trip to Wimbledon as if she got something to do with whoever won. And then if you take a look on the right, Sophie Wessex News, Countess shows she's ready to take over from Meghan Markle and Harry. Is she? Is she really? Well, they have been saying this since, I guess 2020. Yeah, they have been saying this since 2020 that she is ready to take over, that she's a secret weapon. And then I know it's kind of difficult to see those because they're so small, but I promise you, there is, uh, let me see, how many times is she mentioned here? King Charles' secret weapon, Sophie Wessex. Oh, wait, her daughter is also a secret weapon, 19-year-old. Uh-huh. Camilla, the royal family's best weapon. You know what? Okay. That really tracks. And I'm going to tell you why. Because how many times have I looked at Camilla and the first thing I say is old battle axe, an old battle axe. So, yeah, Camilla is definitely a weapon. Anybody could look at her and tell she's been weaponized. Absolutely. Let me see here. Oh, so you know what? I see that there's a lot of people that's been secret weapons. Kate at 40 is a secret weapon. Sophie Wessex is the royal family secret weapon again. There's another Sophie secret weapon. I think when it comes to being a secret weapon for the royal family, Sophie has outranked them all. Yes, she has. So by far, if there was a competition, who's been the secret weapon in the royal family the most, it's got to be Sophie Wessex. I mean, who else could go traveling to South America for 2 weeks and go completely unnoticed? Her absence was not even noted. She was gone for 10 days. 10 days, and nobody even knew she missed breakfast. She was gone for 10 days. Not even her husband noticed. Her kids didn't even notice. Nobody noticed. Not even her secretary. And certainly not the stylist. She doesn't have one. Not the glam squad. She's in dire need of one. She's the only member of the royal family who can go missing for 10 days and nobody's the wiser. But they said she was doing something important for the royal family. Oh well. That's what happens when you're a secret weapon. You do stuff and it's a secret. And take a look here. From frumpy to fabulous, how Sophie Wessex caved in to royal style demands, ditched that is her boring trouser suits and became one of Vanity Fair's best dressed. What year was that? 1815? Oh no, it was 19. No, it's 2015. Yeah, 2015 they said that she was one of Vanity Fair's best dressed. Okay, if you say so. Is the most gorgeous royal. What year was that? 2016? How a computer database of all of her clothes. Wait, her clothes are in a computer database, not a landfill? Oh, Lord. Oh, well. And then let's see. Wiggle that says, I'm a style queen too, Kate. Jan Moore salutes Sophie Wessex. Oh, Lord. You know what? If The person that is noticing how stylish you are is Jan Moore. I would take that as an insult. And also, you know what else? I don't ever want to see Sophie Wessex wiggle. Please do not ever let me have the misfortune of seeing her try to wiggle, of watching her try to walk away like she's Marilyn Monroe or something. I don't ever want to see that. Could you imagine that? Sophie Wessex trying to act all girly and soft like Marilyn Monroe. Ugh. Anyway, um, you wouldn't pick her out of a crowd. The Queen's words about Sophie after they first met. That was Queen Elizabeth's impression of Sophie. When Queen Elizabeth first met her, she said, "You wouldn't pick her out of a crowd." But the Duchess of Edinburgh has proven to be the worthiest of wives for Prince Edward, writes Natasha Livingstone. Wow, isn't that something? So Queen Elizabeth met her, and her impression was you wouldn't pick her out of a crowd. Oh, I would be so embarrassed if I was Sophie. I would be so embarrassed. I wonder how many times Sophie has walked up to the Queen and the Queen was like, "I'm sorry, who are you? Who? Who? Sophie, have we met?" Oh boy. And then Richard Fitzwilliams, he's always trying to uplift Sophie. Richard Fitzwilliam is determined to make sure that the whole world sees the value of Sophie. Even though I think that that set of goods expired on the shelf a long time ago, he's still trying to show some type of value and worth that she has. I will take his word for it. I don't see it, but I'll take his word for it. Now, Sophie, as Queen Elizabeth say, you couldn't pick her out of a crowd. I want you all to help me out because I've looked at this probably 10 times because I feel like I'm missing something. So, most likely to have a favorable views of Princess Diana and Queen Elizabeth, right? Now, at the time when this was created, both of the top people on the list are deceased, followed by Prince William, and then, of course, Prince Harry, Miss Kitty, Princess Anne, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, King Charles III, Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex, Camilla, the Queen Consort, and Prince Andrew. Sophie is so important to the royal family. She's not even on this chart. She doesn't even chart. Now, help me out. Is she there and I just don't see it? Or is she just not able to make this chart? You have two women that are deceased that are on this chart. And Sophie Wessex is nowhere to be found. Like I said, she can go away for 10 days and not one member of the royal family, not the royal protection officers. Do you know how many times the royal protection officers have been there to protect Sophie and yet they couldn't even pick her out of a crowd? How many times have they driven back to Sophie's house only to discover that they have the wrong person in the Uh, how many times have they gone out with Sophie and brought some stranger back to what's the name of that place, Bagshot Park or whatever? How many times have they brought the wrong person home because they didn't notice Sophie from anybody else in the crowd? I'm sure that has happened on more than a few occasions where they have, um, put the person in the car. And that person, of course, thinking it's a taxi or a Uber or whatever. And next thing you know, they're at the Bagshot Park. And Sophie is somewhere lost in the crowd, unable to be identified because, I mean, you just can't notice her. Maybe that's her superpower, that she's able to blend in. You wouldn't be able to pick her out of a crowd. And why? Because that's Super Sophie. So finally, Super Sophie. Oh, wait. Okay. Makes the list. You have Prince Harry and Meghan. There's Charles III, Kate, William, the Queen Consort, Princess Anne, Eugenie, Beatrice, Charlotte, George, Edward, Louis, and way down there at the bottom is Sophie Wessex, finally. Yes, when it comes to being Googled, Sophie Wessex is way down there at the bottom. That's how often people have noticed her here. Isn't that a mess? But remember, she is ready to take the place of Meghan and Harry, especially Meghan. So I would say that Sophie Wessex is a safe pair of hands for the future of the royal family. And one of the best things about her is you don't even know she's there. You couldn't even pick her out of a crowd. Now, we got this news today. I wasn't sure what to think about it, but I guess it's true. Prince Philip lived with pancreatic cancer for nearly 8 years before his death. Now, see, they were just starting to convince me that Harry and Meghan running for their lives is what finally pushed him over the edge, right? I thought that Meghan and Harry had done him in, that the stress of watching his grandson living with his beautiful wife and family in California in peace, I had no idea that that would be too much for the old man, only to find out that it wasn't that. It wasn't when he broke that woman's arm when he went through that intersection. It wasn't all that running back and forth to Wood Farm so that he could be with his other family. No, none of that was it. It wasn't the fact that his uh, son required, what was it, 12 million pounds for somebody he never met for something he didn't do. That didn't hurt him. It was just when Harry and Meghan left. Living through the Second World War, nah, that had nothing to do with the quality of his life. It was Harry and Meghan that done him in. And so the very active, robust Duke of Edinburgh, also known as the Duke of Hazard, the man who was able to go through a brightly lit intersection and break some woman's arm, um, I guess he had a very weak constitution and Harry and Meghan doing what millions of people do every day, moving to another country, was just too much to bear. I guess I guess I was being insensitive. It wasn't that he had a whole nother family somewhere. That didn't stress him out. It wasn't the fury over the Crown Philip slur. Netflix blasted for a fair plot line. For telling the truth? Uh, anyway, I think he was deceased by the time that aired. So, and what about that Sunday that he went to church with his Penny Natchbull and his wife? As you can see, they're all looking so glad to be together. The Queen being humiliated publicly. Um, Philip showing everybody that he really was an asshole. And Penny Natchbull, well, she just had to be there. So, cheers to Prince Philip. Somehow he managed to have it all. He managed to have it all. He was able to have his cake and eat it too. William urged not to put profits over people in duchy land sale. Farmers expressed concern over the Prince of Wales' plans to sell 10 farms on a Devon estate. This is the man who wants to make sure that we end homelessness as we know it, that homelessness will be rare and what was the other part of that? Unusual and something, something, something. That William, once again, raking in profits. And the best way to cover yourself when you're doing this, and I'm not saying that that's what he's doing, but I'm just going to say hypothetical ways of dealing with this type of attention is to, I don't know, participate in a hate campaign against your brother and sister in law to make sure that all the attention is thrown their way. So nobody is thinking about all the money that you're raking in from your $1 billion duchy that you didn't even work for, so that people don't pay attention to your car collection that we don't really get a chance to see, but we read about. Or the, how many homes do they have? I think they have 6 forever homes. Also, they rerouted the traffic in the area because William decided that he didn't want to stay within the, royal property. So he just acquired another one. Only a few families had to be displaced. So yeah, I think that that's one way to deal with it. Again, I'm not saying that that's what he's guilty of. I don't know that. I'm just saying it has been alleged. Let me see. William has bought farms. Oh, so he has bought farms to pay. Okay, I forgot about that. Yes, those banks of cell phones in those shady rooms where every phone is doing something to push a narrative for whoever is the highest bidder. You're so right about that. I forgot. I forgot. He has bought farms to pay for. Andrew leads the royal, let's see, reserves. Duke heads into church. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you guys remember this? I'm going to tell you why I put this here. Because, let me go to the next one. Princess Beatrice and Eugenie will not attend royal family traditional Easter Sunday service. Well, when things were getting better in the family, not only Andrew, but also Sophie placed themselves at the head of the procession. And people were furious. They're like, why is he leading everyone into the church? Well, William didn't show up. Kate didn't show up. And of course, Charles and Godzilla, they took the state Bentley over there. And so at the time, he was the highest ranking member of the family. And because they do everything according to rank, he was the one to lead the procession to the church, much to the dismay of everyone who witnessed that. Well, his daughters are not even going this year. I don't know if it's out of solidarity for their parents or they have been told, don't show up. The Yorks are a source of embarrassment for the family. And of course, if I was Beatrice and Eugenie, I would be thinking, can't you just say something about Harry and Meghan so nobody had noticed that we've gone? But no, I guess they decided that that was just too close and they decided they shouldn't go. So they either volunteered out of solidarity to their parents or they just weren't invited, which is unfortunate. But that family is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Oh, Thomas finds love again. Falling in love again. What else could I do? How does that Marlene Dietrich song go? Falling in love again. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, um, Thomas has found love in the Philippines. Yes. And of course, you know how they always say when a woman goes through divorce, the first person she, you know, has intimacies with is the divorce lawyer. Well, I guess if you are a retired uh, Emmy Award winning lighting director who has sided with the tabloid media over your own child and raked in whatever money you could get, I guess the next thing you do is you move to the Philippines and fall in love with your caretaker. Now, I don't know what that means for, Carolyn Graham. I thought she was his love interest. Oh, okay. So there's nothing between them, huh? So she's not gonna have to climb up on top of Mount St. Thomas Markle. I guess if there's not a letter up there to grab, there's no reason to do it. Well, anyway, I found it kind of hard to believe. I mean, it just looks like she's being nice, but it's obvious who wrote this article and the motivation behind it. So maybe there's an attempt to distance oneself from being too close to Tugboat Tommy. Who knows? But remember, all of this is alleged. We don't know the actual happenings, but ugh, yuck. Partying with pals, ditching duty, embarrassing the royal family. Work shy William and Duchess Doolittle, Kate under fire. Let me see. That was from 2017. Yeah, that one was from 2017. They don't write about them like that any longer. Now they have done their best to try to establish them as the necessary future of the firm. But that's an example of one of the magazine articles. I've never heard of that magazine before, but um, anytime I can find evidence of the Welleses, as they call them now, and their laziness, I just add it to my archives because you never know when you'll need it. Now, William faces criticism over duchy farm sales as tenant warns of debt and uncertainty. So this is a little bit out of order, but let's go with it anyway. There's always a moment when the branding slips and the reality shows through. This feels like one of those moments because for years, Prince William has been carefully positioned as the modern royal, the one focused on mental health, sustainability, and doing things differently. And yet, when it comes to the Duchy of Cornwall, the decisions look far less like reform and more like old fashioned landlord behavior dressed up in a corporate language. Now, as Britain is predicted to enter a recession, farmers on duchy land are being told their homes and livelihoods are part of a portfolio reshaping. That is one way of putting it. Yeah, so it's part of a portfolio reshaping. Oh, that is business lingo, isn't it? So, the reality behind the duchy's strategy, according to the Times, the Prince of Wales has been urged not to put profits before people. When he sells land on a historic country estate, the surprise announcement has left farmers and communities fearing for their future. One tenant farmer said he would not be able to buy his farm without saddling his family with generations of debt. The amount of stress and anxiety is through the roof. Now, William, who has been a part of this, whatever, homeward bound, it's $1 billion duchy. How come he just can't absorb some of the, you know? I mean, as the Duke of Cornwall, just like with his father, if someone passes away, doesn't he inherit the estate if there's no other family? I mean, that is quite a nice stash of money over time. But even if that's not the case, give those people a break. Give those people a break. But he talks one way, but he lives a complete other way. This shouldn't even have come up in the news. It shouldn't be a thing. He should make sure that those farmers that have been there for generations are taken care of. I mean, what does he do with the money? Ain't that what the island lady said? Give the people back their money. That's what that island lady said. She said, give the people back their money. The Duchy says this is about focusing on areas with greater social and environmental need. That sounds good on paper. It always does. But the people actually living on that land are hearing something very different. They are being told they can buy the farms they have worked for decades, often generations, just at a discount that still requires money they simply do not have. In current economy, that is not an opportunity, it is pressure. That is what it is. It's pressure. A landlord with a public image problem. The reporting gets even harder for to square with Williams' public persona. Residents describe the situation as appalling, saying the uncertainty has caused sleepless nights. Despite Williams' public focus on mental health, others warn the duchy's long-standing stewardship could be lost it can be lost if land is sold piecemeal to the highest bidder. You know, Graham Smith of Republic says that these duchies actually belong to the people. They are part of the feudal system that should not exist in modern times, and that both the Duchy of Lancaster and the Duchy of Cornwall should go back to the people. It should not be their private personal property. It should not be their piggy bank. Now, we know that the duchies were established to make sure, especially for the Prince of Wales, that he doesn't have to go out begging for money. It is like a permanent allowance for whoever has that position. But at the same time, these are tenant farmers that have been there for a long time. They can't afford it. Oh well, I like this for William, and I hope there's more embarrassment coming. If they ever have a referendum, I know where those people are going to vote. Oh yeah, did you guys hear that Queen Elizabeth um, had some things to say about the Obamas? Or was it vice versa? Oh, let me see. And please answer me this question. Why they got a picture of Queen Elizabeth in that article looking like Clint Eastwood? Why is she bristling? I love the way they try to marry the photos with the story and they find a photo that helps to tell the story. And this is a fantastic example of that. Ooh, the bullet used on Charlie Kirk did not match rifle allegedly used. Oh my goodness. That's scary. Wow. Did not see that coming. Oh, Prince Harry is seeking very substantial damages in case against Mail. Can you believe that article is in the Daily Mail? Maybe that's one of the reasons why the heat has been on them so much lately. I still think it has something to do with the way Charles and William are being portrayed with the public, all of the heckling and everything. I believe that is the main reason why things have been so hectic lately. Oh, now that's weird. I seem to have misplaced the article. Let me see. Uh oh well, I'll do that one tomorrow. I seem to have misplaced the article. I don't know how. Anyway, I have a sound bite for you guys. I'm gonna do that one then. That is so weird. I could have sworn I just had it. I'll look for it while the sound bite is playing. Oh my goodness, that coffee is delicious. No diggity. I got to back it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity. Got to back it up. Hey, hey. Okay, here we go. East side to the west side.
comment because it brings up another thing that I've noticed that the haters of Meghan and gang stalkers always do. Meghan is not allowed to exist on her own. Meghan has no relation to her sister-in-law, yet people continuously bring her up. And it's almost like, now there's a sect, a subsect of a certain religion, right? And they have a thing that they do. They, if they've sinned, right? In order to absolve themselves of their sins, they've decided that they can put it into a chicken and they can swing the chicken around their heads, and then that transfers the sin to the chicken, and then they're all good. With respect to the royal family, and again, Meghan, she's married into it, but her and Harry were like, this is horrible, we're leaving. It's been 6 years. It's been over 6 years. They have no relation to those people. They don't talk about them. They're living their lives, but the royal family, because there's so much rot there, there's so much yuck, you've got your PDF file, you've got a whole bunch of nonsense, they need Meghan to be their chicken, and so that's why they create this dichotomy. Meghan is not allowed to exist on her own. You can't even talk about her. You can't talk about the hate she gets without I'm not even going to call them fans of the sister-in-law, because these people aren't fans of the sister-in-law. The sister-in-law, there's nothing threatening about her. She's extremely average. And that's why people pretend to be fans of her. And they say, well, no, she's great because she's non-threatening. And then they bully Meghan because Meghan makes the sister-in-law look bad every single day. She's a beautiful, happy, I want to say articulate, sounds racist, but she's a highly intelligent person who does things. She's amazing. And the sister-in-law is just, and so because Meghan makes people uncomfortable, especially white British female people, I've noticed, they pretend that there's this competition or that there's this war or there's this issue. Meghan couldn't care less about her sister-in-law. She's happy to be living in LA away from all of this. But they have to pretend that there is a rivalry or that there is this, but it's completely one-sided. And I have seen this play out over and over and over. Whenever there's a group of people gang stalking, they're always kind of doing it in the service of someone else. They're flying monkeys for a person that makes them feel okay, that doesn't threaten them in any way. And that's kind of what's happening here, but Meghan doesn't care and we don't care. We don't pay attention to her sister-in-law because there's nothing to pay attention to. It's highly boring. The most interesting the sister-in-law ever was when she was missing for 6 months, and that should tell you everything you need to know about the sister-in-law. I'm so glad this person made this comment because
the most interesting thing about Kate was when she was missing. Woo! But it's the truth. The only thing that made Kate interesting after being around that family for 20 years was when she came up missing. That is the thing that got all eyes on her. That is the thing that made her a household word, is when she was missing. I don't think that there was enough said about that, and we probably won't ever hear anything about it, but the Where's Kate Middleton really caught on, and it was so embarrassing to the institution. Yeah, that was interesting. Very interesting. And I love her hair. I love her hair. So yeah, but where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe they're with Jason. Yeah. Kate has a lot of problems, and it has nothing to do with Meghan. That very empty world that they live in, the spaces that those two occupy in each other's world, Will and Kate, seems like such a sad place. It really seems like such a sad place. William only seems to lighten up, to get excited when he's away from her. Otherwise, it seems like being around her is a huge chore. And then they project that onto Harry as though Harry is so over Meghan. But the thing is, Harry is always thinking about Meghan's security. He doesn't have time to relax because in a situation where there are strangers and a crowd or whatever, he likes to know where people are and what they're doing, where their hands are, what are their intentions if they're near his wife, which is understandable because of the hate campaign. There are some crazy people out there that may want to try to harm either one of them. So you cannot blame Harry for looking so serious when they're in public. But William, it's not so much that he looks serious as he looks discontented, that he looks, I don't know, weighed down by his circumstances. And that includes baby brain. Zandy Sussex says, now that William and Kate have ostracized everybody, this will be the balcony in 2026. What a lonely reign William Macbeth will have, and I'm here for it. Oh, man. You know what? Make it so. Make it so. I would love to see the balcony like that. Yeah, I say go for it. Well. The notorious JTB had a thing or two to say about this spot of bother. I will share that with you. Now, there is a little sensitive language here, but I think the overall point makes it worth it. Okay, let's do it.
Perez Hilton built an entire brand off dragging celebrities for sport. Remember when he came from Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, over and over with shady headlines and bitchy takes? Remember when Prince Harry was mocked? Like his trauma and his choices were just content for clicks? Remember when cruelty in celebrity gossip was treated like entertainment and people were encouraged to pile on? Well, karma came knocking at the door. Now Perez is opening up about his terrifying health scare that left him hospitalized for 21 days. He admits it was his own stupidity that landed him there after taking medication on an empty stomach. That situation turned into a severe ulcer, sepsis, emergency surgery, and a near-death experience. He said he had a spiritual awakening. He said he felt God's presence. He says the ordeal changed him. Bitch, please, let's see how long this revelation lasts. However, social media is reacting appropriately. The comment sections are giving zero fucks. But take this moment as a warning to the Meghan and Harry haters who still live online waiting to tear them down. Hate always finds a way to circle back and serve you what you deserve. And that's the read. This is the notorious JTB, notoriously opinionated, signing out.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to go to the next slide. But yeah, so that was part of the thing, part of his presentation. But yeah, I was just having this discussion. Um, he has impressed a lot of people with his come to Jesus moment, um, Perez Hilton. But, you know, when I was looking into the reasons why he was banned from TikTok, okay, one of the things that they cited was nudity, right? And I was wondering how in the world does that fit into one of the shortcomings, one of his drawbacks? Um, you know how, oh gosh, how do I want to put this? You know how people take pictures with their family? Maybe you all know about this already, and I'm the last one to the party. But you know how you take pictures with your family? And as you know, he has kids. And sometimes things look odd. Well, there was that. There was that kind of oddness. I'll just leave it there. But do your own research. Um, but there was a few things that was just looked strange. It looked strange. It read strange. It looked strange. It was strange. And he just creeped some people out. I'll just say that he just creeps some people out. And there's a lot to be creeped out about. Um, you know, I applaud him for the weight loss. I mean, he's come a long way. And but it seems like after he lost weight, he just couldn't keep his clothes on. And that includes around other people in his own household, which again, it just looks odd. So um I just did a Google search. I put his name in and I put nude, and I saw more than I expected to see. An eyeful. And I don't know what exactly they saw as a problem at TikTok or other places on social media. But when you get to a certain age, when you have been established with almost 2 million followers, yeah, you must have done something strange to get a the kids took out a petition to get rid of him. They had a petition to get rid of him. But that's not the only way that he anyway, do your own research. I'm like, when the hell did this happen? But what a strange person he is. Strange. Deliberately odd. And he seems to have obsessions with the darndest things. So, I don't know, Heather Stroud. I'm just like, I can't unsee what I've seen. And I don't know why he thought everybody wanted to see it. And so I'm not saying that anything was wrong with his household or that there's anything wrong with him. I just think it looks strange. Especially the shower scene. And I'll just leave it at that. I didn't know which way to turn the picture. I'm like, am I holding this picture right? I kept turning my phone around. But it's not enough that it was that, but why? Why was that important? And why are you sharing it with people? So, yeah. You know, that's just like, do you guys remember when that reporter, the one who was kicked off of television and the one that was kicked out of the okay, someone who was so low they couldn't even write for Daily Mail anymore. And during that period when they were accused of being of catfishing people, why did they go all the way to another country in the southern hemisphere? And why was it necessary for them to take pictures that everybody's going to see, of course? And you're sitting there, and listen, it was very innocent. That person was just sitting there reading to their niece and nephews. But why? Why did you? Are you just trying to show us what a family person did? And by the way, this is not Perez Hilton. This is someone who used to be on British television, someone who used to write for the tabloids. Why was it necessary for you to go to the southern hemisphere, to a country south of the equator, maybe your nation of birth? And then they're taking pictures with these kids. For what? They're not even your kids. And I'm just like, why are you taking pictures with them and sharing them on the interweb? Reading a storybook for what? Why is that something to share? And I don't think anything happened, of course. I just think that the kids were being used as a prop. And if you've been watching long enough, y'all know who I'm talking about. But it just seems like those kids were being used as a prop. And I'm like, why? Why? Why not just keep telling people the calls are coming from inside the house? That's all you need to do. You don't have to sit there with your niece and nephew reading books. That is, and I bet you that's the only time we've ever seen them, and we probably never see them again. But that was a strange reaction to all of the accusations that were flying about, accusations that have never been fully investigated because, as usual, they circle the wagons. So I would say that both of those people are just creepy. For no good reason, just weird. And that's it. There's no accusation of any wrongdoing. It just looks strange. And I will leave it there. But I tell you what, I'm sorry I looked. I was just like, well, I wonder why is it everybody is banning this person? And so I Googled, and I noticed that they lost a lot of weight, and I noticed that they've had quite a few run-ins with other content creators, sharing other people's images and such. Let's see. There was a song about, are you talking about that song? And now I creep, something like that. And so I creep. Oh, I can't remember how the song goes. But I do remember there was some song with creep in it. Oh well. Speaking of creepy, welcome to, of course, I believe that was Australia. And I never knew that that's where that woman gives Charles a kiss while he was at the beach. I didn't know that was Australia, but I guess that was Australia back in 79. And then back in 2024, he goes back with his side piece, that side order of trouble. Yes, I'll have a side order of home wrecker. He went back with the home wrecker. Look at that illustration of Camilla. Isn't that a riot? That is a riot. Okay. Now, the other day, no, last week, I think it was, or maybe 2 weeks ago. Remember, I told you guys that I found a channel where they had a AI image of Hoghead Pierce Morgan, right? So whoever that was, I think they went back to the drawing board and they started another channel. Or this may be a different person. But this person had an AI image of Pierce Morgan. I'll show you what I mean. Now, that is not Pierce Morgan. That is AI. Right? And that is not Pierce Morgan. That is also AI. Plus, I've never seen Pierce Morgan with glasses. The whole room is AI. That's AI, and this is AI. And of course, the AI voice was saying terrible things about the Sussexes. But to be fair, there were other people that were being trashed on this person's channel. I did report it. I explained that I believe that the image was AI and that I believe that the voice is also AI. And I also mentioned that I believe these were created without Pierce Morgan's consent. So if you see anything like that, do make sure you report it and then quickly remove it from your your watch history, because if you don't, not only is the the algorithm going to bring it back to you again, but because you watch Royal Sussex, it may recommend it to other people within our family, and we don't want that either. So after I reported it, I made sure that I took the time to take it out of the history. But yeah, so these are bad because some of the things that they have accused the Sussexes of, even mentioned, like for instance, the I think in some states they call it children and family services, as though the Sussex children were in danger, right? All kind of weird accusations. It sounds very credible. It sounds very authentic. But let me tell you what was different about this Pierce Morgan compared to the other one. They used still photos. Instead of having an AI image moving and gesturing like a real person. These are just still photos, and they played the voiceover of the AI Pierce Morgan. I reported it anyway because that is not Pierce Morgan's image. And I guess they believe they can get away with it because it's not a video, that it's just a still image. But I didn't care. I still reported it because they were trash talking the Sussexes, and I'm not having it. Welcome to the world of AI. This is our future, folks. This is our future. So, as Hoghead Pierce Morgan once said, a blip, 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 that's all, Pierce. Oh, man. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to say goodnight to you. I got this from someone sent me a little greeting, and I saw that, and I love the image, so I saved that one. And also, I got this one today, so I saved that one too. Nice, right? So, yeah, if you have any final comments, go ahead and throw them up there. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. And thank you all so much for joining us here on Royal Sussex. And we'll try to come on earlier tomorrow. That is my goal anyway. We'll try to come on much earlier tomorrow. I think Australians can be very blunt. Let's see. Let me see. Some people just don't understand that other people are not interested in their showing too much family privacy stuff. Yeah. I think it's always important to be careful with children. I mean, some images have become like these huge viral moments, especially when it comes to the memes and such. But I think that it should always be a default is to just not show the kids at all or to obscure their faces. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Mary H. Thank you so much for being here. And you guys, don't forget to pray for Jerry White. Jerry White has been sick. She's been actually, when I talked to her, she was in the hospital. So she's been under the weather. Her weight has gotten really low. But of course, her sister passed away. And ever since that happened, she's been, feeling kind of poor. So do make sure you pray for her and everybody else that's, struggling with illness. Summer's coming up, and summer is no time to be under the weather. So we want everybody feeling better and healthy and blessed and moisturized, maybe even a little tan, and out there to enjoy the summer. Is it raining? Huh. No, it's not raining, but it is super, super windy. March is a very windy time of the year. especially in the Midwest when you have the hot and cold fronts colliding. All that energy comes out somehow, usually by way of thunderstorms. Okay. Joy Moore, how long has it been? How long has it been? It's been too long. You guys, I'm losing track, but I know that Royal Sussex anniversary is coming up soon. I don't know when. I got to check. Because there's the actual start of the channel, but then there's the actual start of Royal Sussex, and that happened a year apart. So I got to check and see when things really started happening. Because I did like 5 videos in 2020, and then I just walked away and didn't come back until 2021. So yeah, it was the height of the global pandemic. Say, I was talking to someone earlier. Do you guys remember back in the 1970s and early 80s when they had the car alarms where you would use that round key, you know, like the kind they used to put on the freezers? You know how you can lock the freezers? They have that round key. Am I the only one that remembers that the key was right there in that front fender or quarter panel, that front fender where you would stick the key and turn it to turn off the alarm and then get in the car? I mean, at the time, that was cutting edge technology. Now it's like very awkward. But they didn't have the key fobs. So I was talking to someone about that today, and I'm just like, do you remember that? And they were just like, But I'm sure I didn't just imagine it. I do believe that they had keys for the car alarm, and that the key would get inserted on the body of the car. And people paid a lot of money for that. 1970s car alarm. Oh, okay. All right. All right, you guys. I see one, and I'm going to show you a picture of it. I see it. I'm going to show you a picture of it. It's not the best photo, so I'm going to see if I can find something better. And this isn't one of those round keys either. This one is a flat key. It's on a 1967 Bonneville. Come on, Bonneville. Oh, yeah, it is on the front of the car. Okay, give me just a second and I'll show you what I mean. It's not the best picture, but it's the only one I can find. You see there? Now that is the front bumper, chrome, of course, and that is the front wheel on the driver's side, and that's usually where the key was or the lock was located. And that little round silver thing, that is a regular, key, flat key, and you stick your key in there and you turn it to disengage the alarm. And that was what they used from the 1970s to the 1980s. And again, this was before the key fobs. Never seen that, huh? Yep, that's how they worked. The old fashioned 1970s car alarm with the key. Ah, okay. Okay, I got to show you this. I got to show you this. Now, this is that's how you would purchase it like that. It would come in a cardboard box. It says, beat that thief. That's what it says. Beat that thief with Selmar car alarm. Now, I'm going to show you what the kit looks like. I tell you, it's days like this that reminds me of how old I am that I remember this. So that's the kit right there. You can see they have some pieces to help you mount it. And there's the key, or the two keys. There's one key stuck inside of the lock. And then the other key is just kind of dangling down to the side there. Now, there's a switch. There's a switch, and I believe that is the kill switch. And the kill switch was, of course, another way to disengage the alarm, I believe. And I don't know how and when you would use that, but I believe that one of the strategies was to hide that switch somewhere inside of the car. You know what I mean? Someplace where only you would know about it. But again, I'm not really clear how that worked. Why, because you still got the key as well. So not sure how that worked. But I do believe that the car alarm would never cut itself on. But that is the old-fashioned car alarm. Oh, really? Yep. Well, that's what they used to have back in the 70s to the 80s. The only thing is, I don't see any of the round keys. Now, I know I'm not just imagining that Well, I don't see the ones with the round key, but oh, you know what? I do see one. I'll show you. I will show you. It doesn't have the key, but it just has the you know, the lock, just the lock. But I'll show you. Yeah, it was someone's post that says, anybody remember having to turn the alarm on your car with a key after you got out? And they have a picture of their 1978 Corvette. Well, I want to share the picture with you, but for some reason, I'm not able to get to it. Oh, they want me to join their chat group. Well, that's not going to happen. But that's okay. I got another way to get it. Okay, I'll show you. Here it comes. See there? That is their Corvette Stingray, and it has the round keyhole, just like those keys that they would put on a deep freezer. What could I say? It was the 1970s. Huh, okay. Well, we learn something new every day here at Royal Sussex. All right, you guys. I'm just sitting here looking at stuff, so I'm gonna say good night. Thank you for enjoying this little walk down memory lane with me. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, cheers.